Hey there YouTube, Joe here, KE0TSE. Welcome to another episode of SoCo Ham Radio. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create a code plug for the Ailunce HD1. This is the non-GPS version of the HD1. I'm going to show you basically how to create a couple digital channels and an analog channel just to kind of get you started. Alright, so here we go. So the first thing I like to do is go in and set my DMR ID. And when you first download this software, which I'll have the link in the description, it comes pre-populated with some generic DMR IDs and names for those. I'm just going to do one. I have two DMR IDs, but I only need one in the radio. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of these here, and I'm going to put my DMR ID in, and I'm going to throw my call sign over here. Oops. Done. Alright, so the next thing I do is I go into, and by the way, I like to expand all of these folders here, kind of get an idea of what I'm working with. I don't mess with the DMR service. Basically all that has is encryption. You don't do any encryption on ham radio. So basically I expand the basic settings in the contacts folder. So the next thing I like to do is go in and create my contacts or talk groups. For any talk groups, it's going to be a group call. So the first one I'm going to create is a local talk group here, which is, I'm going to name it, we'll name it RM for Rocky Mountain. That's the repeater system here, and I'll label it 719, which is the actual talk group ID. We'll go in and add the talk group number or ID, and then we'll go to the next one, which will be again a group call, and I will name it RM wide for Rocky Mountain wide, and that one is 700. Last one I'm going to create is for another repeater here. It's also going to be a group call, and I'm going to name it BM 91 for Brandmeister 91. That's going to be the worldwide talk group. Alright, so once we've done that, we can actually go and create some channels. Let's change this to 91 so we don't have that messed up. So now what we're going to do is go into the channel section. Let me move this up here. Scale that back down. Alright, so it also comes pre-populated with some frequencies, all that good stuff. VFOA and VFOB, we can leave those as is for now. What we're going to do is actually program in some channels. So the first one I'm going to do is going to be one of the digital the frequencies repeaters here. So the first one is going to be a receive frequency of 446.9500. Oops, I messed that up. Let's try that again. 446.9500. And the transmit frequency is going to be 441.9500. Alright, this is a digital channel. Everything else looks good for now. I do recommend at least dropping your transmit power down to mid. You can always change that later. If we have time, I'll go back in and show you how to change some of your key settings so you can change your transmit power. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to open up this channel menu. My channel alias, I'm going to name, I kind of do mine geographically because I'm a little all over the place all the time, so I do it more geographically based. So this one will be, the mountain that this one sits on is called El Magre. So I will label it El Magre. There's only a digital repeater up there. We've got our transmit and receive, digital, mid. So then what we're going to do, so we're going to go down here. We have to change this to repeat. And this one will be, we're going to do the local one first, which will be talk group 719. So our slot will be 2. Our ID setting is the ID that we'd set before, and our color code is 7. TX authority is always going to be color code. I have not made any RX group lists, so we're going to leave that alone for now. We've got 719 in here already, which is good. I don't mess with the kill code, wake up code, all that stuff. I kind of leave all that how it is. Alright, so I think we have everything set up for this one, and actually what we'll do is we'll name this one El Magre local for local. That way we kind of know what's going on with that one. And sorry, I've got something in the way here. Alright. And it's not letting me do what I need to do. There we go. Alright, so the easiest thing to do is go in here and go to add and add your next channel. So the next channel is going to be another one that is here in local to me, and I'm going to name it El Magre again. And this one's going to be wide. I can also name these, I think I've named them before, as the repeater system, which is Rocky Mountain Ham. I've named them RM local, RM wide, you know, stuff like that. So whatever way you want to label your system that works best for you and how you'll remember it, I'd recommend doing it that way. This one is just an example. There are definitely many ways to go about this. I just want to show you how you can get the code plug up and running and be good to go. I know for a lot of people, code plugs can be seem pretty intimidating, so that's what I am trying to help with. So the next one is going to be the same receive and transmit frequencies. So our receive frequency is, again, 446.9500. It'll pre-populate zeros for you. So if you have zeros on the end, I could have done just 446.95 and it'll pre-populate the rest of the zeros for me. I'll show you on this next one. And our transmit is 441.95, and we'll just stay with 95. You can see how it pre-populates the zeros for us. Alright, then we go and change our work mode again to repeat. And now this one's going to be slot 1, and our color code is going to be 7 again. Okay, so now what we have to do is change our TX authority again to color code. And then we're going to change this to Rocky Mountain wide, which is RM719. Okay, so that one's done. We're going to add one more, and it's going to be a different repeater. It's actually going to be the another repeater here, which is on a different mountaintop, and it's on Cheyenne Mountain. And we'll just name this Cheyenne BM for Brandmeister. It does connect to Brandmeister. And our, let's see here, receive frequency is 445.0600. 0625, and we'll let it pre-populate that 0 at the end. And our transmit frequency is 440.0625, and we'll let it pre-populate that 0 again. And we're going to change this again to repeat because we're on a repeater. And let's see here, where are we at here? Okay, so this one, to access any of the Brandmeister stuff, it's going to be on slot 2, and our color code is going to be 1. And TX Authority again is going to be color code. Contacts is priority. That's where we created our top group contacts, and then we're going to go to you know what? I messed that one up. Oh no, I didn't. There it is. 91 for top group 91, which is the worldwide. Now you can also change this to whatever suits you best. If you wanted to go in here and you wanted to. Oh, give me just a second here. We've got this all set. If you wanted to go in here and change this to worldwide, you can do that. Whatever works best for you. I did BM91, and I think I do have some of my code plugs set to worldwide, all that good stuff. I just didn't want to confuse anybody with the RM wide, which is kind of why I left it that way. Alright, so you see now that we've got some channels going on in here. I don't know what's going on with this guy here. You can always delete them as you need. So we've got 3 digital channels now. Now let's do an analog channel. It's not going to let me go into it until I populate these fields here. So our analog channel is receive is going to be 155.61000, and our transmit frequency is going to be 155.0100, and see how it pre-populated that again. We're going to change this to analog now. And remember what I said about wanting to have these on mid. You want to start on mid first. Actually, lowest power possible to make that contact. I know here mid is just about right for me. In some places I'll have to bump it up to high, but I don't really like to work on high too much on the HD1. I don't want to burn out the rubber duck antenna, and I've heard of people doing that. I haven't had that problem yet, but I don't want to risk it. So we'll go down to mid on this one. Scan, I don't really need scan right now. And you see how it added the bandwidth of 25K, and the digital is, there's no option for that because digital is obviously going to be 12.5 automatically added in there. So this one is going to be the local repeater system is called Colcon, so I'm going to name this Colcon Springs. And then we've got a few more things to add to this. So we've got our TX power mid, bandwidth 25K, and see how you have it 12.5K. Analog repeaters, you want to stay on 25K, otherwise you're going to sound like you're in a tunnel or something like that. Is usually the reports that people get when they're on 12.5K and they're on an analog repeater. TX authority is going to be allow TX. And then we've got one other thing to do, and for some reason, there it is. Okay, a little different. I was just messing around with an Anytone code plug, so I kind of confused myself there for a second. Most repeaters that I've encountered have a at least an encode tone. So most of them have a decode and encode. I always just set the encode, which is to open the repeater squelch. And this one is actually 88.5. So we'll select 88.5. And then we've got everything set up for the analog channel. RX frequency, TX frequency, all that good stuff. Alright, so we're good here. So now what we want to do now is create zones. We're going to create a couple zones here. First zone we're going to create is Springs. Since I live in the Springs, if I can get my mouse to work right, move that out of the way. Springs Digital. And then we're going to go over here, and you see how it, after I created a zone, my available channels popped up over here. So we have 3 that we just created that are digital channels. So we're going to add those to the Springs Digital. We're going to create one more zone for our analog, named, if you can guess, Springs Analog. Come over here, and it pre-populates again with all the available channels. Alright, so we only have one analog channel that we created, and it's there now. So we're good on our zones. We've got 2 zones. We've got a total of 4 channels, one being analog, 3 of them being digital. So now we're good to write this over to our radio if we need to. One thing I would recommend is probably going over to your key settings and changing these. You have 2 keys on the side that are programmable. Key 1 is the top key, key 2 is the bottom key. So what I like to do is, what I actually do for the Brandmeister repeaters is I actually go and create a disconnect call, and I set that to one of the keys to disconnect from the top group. I'll show you that in a later video. Right now we're kind of going basic. Don't want to get too much into the technical stuff of this code plug. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to leave the long press for now. We're going to program the short press keys to, one is going to be I like to have one of them as promiscuous, and then we'll set the other one to our power setting. So we'll find our power setting wherever it is. Here we go. High, mid, low power switch. And you can also do long presses. If we were to create what's called a 1-key call, we'd do 1 key, and then we would go in here and we'd set up our 1-key call. We're not going to do that right now. I will show you that in a later video. So the long press, we really don't need to change it to anything else right now. If you wanted to, you can open up, do analog monitor, which opens your squelch up to listen for those weak transmissions. And then we can do another one, maybe scan. If you create some scan groups, you can do that. So there we go. We've got key settings set up. We're good to go. Alright, so basic information. I haven't read from my radio yet, so it doesn't have any of my information on my radio. Which it's always a good idea to read from your radio before you write to it. That's what I always do. Right now we're working with just a blank code plug that opened up when I opened up the CPS. I always read to it, and what I do each time after I write a code plug to a radio, or right before I write a code plug to a radio, I will save this code plug as something. I'll usually do my call sign, because I do code plugs for other people as well. I help them out with code plugs and build code plugs for other people. I'll save as, and then I'll do KE0TSC and then the date. That way I know the latest one I've done, or I want to go back to a date where, okay, I liked this code plug better. Whatever it may be, at least you have that date as a reference. So that's kind of what I do, is I'll save as, and you can kind of see what all code plugs you have in the future when you decide that you've got too many code plugs. Power on logo, you can also select a power on logo. You can open this, you can create a logo. I've created one that's my call sign, and you can write it to the radio, which is pretty cool. I like that feature. So what we would do now is we would write this code plug to the radio. So we would click write. Right now it's not going to say anything because I don't have my radio plugged into the PC, but it would come up with this, write data to radio, do you wish to continue? You would select OK. If you have a connection problem with your radio, it'll tell you invalid port number. So you need to go into your device manager and figure out which port number your radio's on after you have it plugged in, and then you'll select your port. So you'll go in here and you'll select which available ports are being used right now. It'll show a list of ports that are being used, and then you can go from there. You can select your port. Say, oh, I saw my radio's on COM 11. Okay, cool. Boom, there you go. You're ready to go. So I think that's the gist of the basic concepts of creating a code plug. If you have any questions, feel free to write a comment. Always, please like and subscribe my videos. It'll help me make more. If you have any ideas or want any information on how to do something, or you want to see a review on a certain radio, I can try and make that happen. Like I said, this is ham radio on a budget. As the title says, it's ham radio on a budget, how-tos and reviews. So it's going to be everything ham radio on a budget, and I'll try and help you all out the best I can. Alrighty, until next time, thank you all for tuning into my video. Have a wonderful day or night if you're watching this at night, and I hope to see you again. Please like and subscribe. Hit those buttons down there.
If you liked my daddy's video, please like and subscribe.